Hi there everyone, welcome back to Infinity Drones, and today we've got some great news. The guys from DroneX have unlocked the DJI Air 3, not the Air 3S, just the Air 3, and previously it was unlockable, but then DJI rolled out a patch which prevented you from upgrading or doing the mod on your system. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay guys, once again, if you guys find the content that I'm making useful, please consider to join the channel, send a super chat, like, comment, subscribe. Anything you guys can do to help the channel really does help. I really do appreciate every single one of you guys. And yeah, let's quickly move on to the DroneX application. So as usual, you would just go to the DroneX application's website. So just dronehacks.com, as you guys can see in the top. And here you guys will be able to see all the options available. As you guys can see, Air 3, Mavic 3, all of those models are available, but obviously only on certain firmware versions. Now, if you don't know anything about DroneX, I do recommend maybe just taking a look at how they do things. So over here you can see there's no fly zone removal, altitude removal, parameter hacking, FCC mode if you're not in an FCC country, all these great things. If you have any problems, you can always just scroll down to the bottom of the page and there's going to be an option where you can just ask for some support at the bottom of the page. Other than that, all you really need to do is go to this page, create an account for yourself, and then go to the available hack section and then decide which drone you would like to do. In this case, we are going to do the Air 3. So if I click on the Air 3, I'm going to go to the no-fly zone section. And remember, no-fly zones removes the altitude limit and the no-fly zones. So it's the pilot's responsibility to be responsible. Obviously, don't go do stupid things with this thing. You are, in the end, responsible. Once again, I don't feel bad about this because you can always buy a custom FPV or build a custom FPV drone or buy any of the other drones on the market that does not have geofencing. There are lots of them and you're able to do it anyway. So if you want to be nefarious, you can always do that if you need to. But with a DJI product, you could never do that. So in this case, I'm going to go to next step. And yeah, I can download the application. So this is very important. We need to check the firmware version and if our drone is compatible. Now with the Air 3 specifically, it had a little bit of a, like I said, a patch from DJI that prevented you from using the mod. So in this case, we would just download the application. Now just click on download, or you can just go to the download page and you can click on it. So you can see there's two versions, version 1 and version 2. Version 2 supports all of these models, and all of the other drones that are supported on this available hacks list would be then on version 1. In our case, we can see that we are the Air 3, so therefore I'm just going to go and open up the application. Now, I'm going to do it this way around because I find this the most productive way of going about your process. Okay, so you can go and buy the license on the website as well if you want to, or you can just use the DroneX application. So if you open up the DroneX application, you'll be presented with a screen like this, and I'm going to mod my drone. So I'm going to click on this one. My device is not connected, as you guys can see over here. So basically, all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my drone on and connect the cable. So here we go. Plug the cable in, turn on the drone, and then let's do its thing. You guys are going to notice that I'm not doing anything else except plugging in the drone right now. Everything, step by step, will be available on the screen that's going to tell you what to do. It's an extremely simple process. I've not done anything. As you guys can see, the connection status is healthy, automatically detected this, and I'm on the latest firmware version. So we're going to have to check if this drone is compatible with the software. Now, before we move on, you will need to install DJI Assistant 2 for consumer drones. It's just necessary for all DJI products. So if you've got a drone, you need to have DJI Assistant 2 for consumer drones installed. It's just all the drivers and stuff that you require. In this case, I am ready to move on to my next status. So I'm going to do on the computer self-check. As you can see on this drone, it doesn't say that I need any self-checks. So that's a good thing. I can just move on. And now I'm going to go over to the license management check. Now, this is the important part, okay? I know this is the firmware version that I'm on. And when I do the license or the mod, I might need to go to a different version. Now, as you can see, I already have 2 licenses on my account, but I can click here if you don't have a license, of course, and you just click on this one and it'll check your system for compatibility. As you guys can see, confirmation required, firmware compatibility verified. In this case, I am now able to move on. It tells me that I am, I can move on with the process because my firmware is supported. So here we go. It tells me the whole thing I need to do. So I'm going to connect the RC, will automatically install the patch, and as you guys can see. So it's important that you must not connect your drone to the remote control until you have hacked it. So in this case, my controller is still turned off. I'm going to connect obviously later on after I've done the mod, but in this case, it tells me that connecting the controller will automatically install the patch and therefore the hack will not be effective. If you have encountered any errors, please contact support. As you can see, there's the whole process over there. So under no circumstances should you connect your controller until the hack is done. So this is very important, guys. You cannot do this process if you have your controller turned on. So make sure it's turned off. Yes, I will not connect my controller. So in this case, as you can see, it's then going to take me to the website where I can go ahead and then purchase a license if I want to. You will need to have a credit card or some sort of e-currency that you will need to use this for. So in any case, I'm just going to go back to the DroneX application, and I will be able to then just register this license to my drone. Once again, it does a compatibility check, which tells me that everything is good, and I'm going to go and proceed this time. You can see it does the exact same process again, but because I already have the license, it's just going to link it to my drone, as you can see. So yes, guys, I'm going to click confirm. It's successful. Now I have loaded a license to my drone serial number. Remember, if this drone's in a crash and I need to replace it, the license is lost because it's linked to this drone's serial number. Okay, so now I've linked it, I'm ready to go. I'm going to go over to the modifications tab. The modifications tab is going to tell me, I need to be on a different firmware version. So in this case, I can just click on install firmware and I can move on. So let's just click on install firmware, and it will automatically download the recommended firmware, and it is going to start flashing it. So in this case, I need to leave this drone alone. Do not touch it. This process is completely dependent on maybe your internet connection or stuff like that. So make sure that you have a stable internet connection. So let's just quickly let this run through the process. As you guys can see, it even reboots your drone for you. So I've not done anything so far, literally just watched the DroneX do its magic. So it's going to run through the process. As you guys can see, the status has now changed to healthy again. I can do modifications tab, click, and now I can do all of this stuff. Now, as you guys can see, you are going to see a bunch of options over here. I'm part of the beta testing program, so you will only see this one over here. So in this case, I'm going to apply the modification. Just going to wait for the whole legal disclaimer process, as you guys can see over here. And I'm going to click agree to continue. Okay, now we're taking a look at if you have a Air 3 that's already had the patch on the controller. Basically, you just had internet connection to it, and DJI would have silently updated the controller. The whole process is exactly the same as before. The nice thing though is that the DroneX application is automatically going to check, and effectively all the steps that we did previously on the previous drone was exactly the same. However, if we go and put in a license, so if we go to the license management section, you are going to have an extra step that we're going to go through now. So basically, when we registered the license previously, it said it was compatible and would work. If I click the little button there now to purchase a license or register a license to my account, it is going to have a little pop-up that pops up, and it is going to say, this is not compatible, because we've got the patch on the rear, so on the drone already. So what you're going to have to do is we have to restore the compatibility. Now it's free. You don't even have to pay for this. You can just click the button and it's going to do it automatically for you. It does take a little while though. So as you can see, there's a little disclaimer. So you have to have a prerequisite. You must make sure that you are ready to go. Just follow the instructions over there and you can move ahead. The nice thing though is if you click the little button, it is now going to do the entire thing. It took about 20 minutes, 19 minutes for me on my machine. And it takes a long time. It's like 9 steps. It has to go through, check it, check it, check it. Basically hacks the software and gets all the way through. Once that's done, you can say skin compatibility has been restored. Your drone is going to restart, or it's going to prompt you to restart. And once you've restarted your drone, that is when you are back to square one, like in the previous section of this video, where you would be able to go to the place where you registered the license to your drone and then install the correct firmware if you were on a different firmware version. So in this case, I'm going to click proceed, and once I've done that, the drone is going to prompt me to restart. Sometimes it restarts automatically by itself, but in this case it's going to prompt me now to restart. The drone disconnects, it restarts, it boots back up. Everything's automatic. As you guys can see, I'm not doing much on the screen at this point. So now that we know compatibility has been restored, you can see that this drone's firmware version was a bit lower. If it was on a higher firmware version, it would have an option for you to downgrade the firmware, like exactly in the first part of this video. So this part of the video is just this drone is already on the correct firmware, so we don't have to reinstall the firmware. However, we still need to link the license, and you guys are going to notice that the steps are exactly the same. So this is incredibly easy. The Air 3 is now completely compatible, and you don't have to worry. You can purchase the license, you can unlock it, and you can set your drone free. Remember guys, if you guys like what I'm doing in this video, please consider to click the subscribe button, watch the video all the way through, join the channel below for some extra perks. You can talk to me on social media as well, and then yeah, make this channel grow, and any comments you guys have, please leave them below and I can answer them for you, because this whole process that DroneX has done is just ridiculously easy, and they deserve all the credit for all the hard work that they've put in here. As you can see, once again, I'm part of the beta program. So just skip all the beta stuff, just go straight for the normal one. Go through the process of the legal queries and disclaimers that are there, and then click next and make your drone free, or set them free. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, please remember to leave them in the comments below. I really try and be as proactive as I possibly can below, because you guys are the community. We want to make you guys happy, get you guys flying. And if you guys have any things, concerns about how the drone application works, anything like that, also put me a message on maybe Instagram, or leave in the comments below so that everyone can get the benefit of the answer for that. But the system is so easy. I've literally turned on the drone, I've plugged into the computer, I've opened the application, I've checked if my drone is compatible, I've purchased the license, I've clicked next. And that was basically it. Oh yeah, it restarted maybe once or twice, but that's literally it. So it is an incredibly easy thing to use, and I recommend that you guys do use it. If you guys are in the US where you don't have any no-fly zones anymore, that's great. But for the rest of us that's outside of the US, yeah, you can't fly anywhere. So a good example would be you want to fly where there's a mountain range, but you're never higher than 10 meters off the ground. But you've gone over the 500-meter ceiling. Now you can't fly up anymore. It's a very stupid thing that you can't fly according to actual height above ground. But yeah, it is what it is. But as you can see, once again, we've just clicked the install patch button. It's going to run through the process. It takes about 2-3 minutes, and then the patch is done. So once again, the guys at DroneX, they're charging you a fee for this, and some guys complain about the fee that they charge. But remember, they've spent hours, days, months, I don't know how long they've spent trying to get past the firmware that DJI supplies to get this mod working for you. So basically, a lot of guys go like, oh man, I don't want to pay for this, I want a free version. But you get what you pay for. Over here, you get a product that's very easy to use. You can remove the mod if you want to. It's incredibly simple. There's a support line that you can contact if you need any problems or if you have any issues with it. It is really, really just worth it. So for those of you guys that want to get the FCC hack done, there are some apps that you can do it and install it on your phone to get extra range and better signal quality. By all means, go do that. But the problem though is it's never permanent. Over here, it's permanent until you decide to remove it from your machine. So honestly, I do think that people sometimes forget just how convenient the DroneX guys have made this. This new version 2 of their application supports a ton of drones. It's incredibly easy to do. You've got the option to flash firmware offline if you want to. You can do vision sensor calibration on it. You can do parameter editing on it if you want to remove the low battery warnings on your drone, for instance, or increase the speed. I mean, they offer so many other options that other applications don't do, all in one awesome package that it makes sense. Anyway, see you guys in the next video.